The Frogs and the Bull. A large number of frogs lived in a small pond. One day, while the frogs were frolicking among the reeds, they heard heavy footsteps and thunderous approach nearby. When they peeked above the water's surface, they saw a herd of bulls grazing at the edge of the pond. One frog exclaimed, "Look, friends, who is larger and more formidable than us?" Another frog replied, "That creature cannot be one of our kind. Look how it towers above us, and its footsteps shake the ground." One curious frog asked, "Fellow frogs, let us see which one of us can swell itself to the size of that mighty bull. Let us compete to become the biggest of all." Each frog puffed itself up. Some pressed their chins to the water, inflating until their eyes bulged, striving to match the size of the bull. Many grew larger than usual, but none could reach the enormity of the bull. In the end, the frogs continued to inflate themselves until they burst, attempting to equal a creature far larger than themselves. Moral: do not measure yourself by another's standards, for inappropriate comparisons can lead to your downfall. The Bear and the Beehive. An old bear wandered through a vast forest one early morning, its belly rumbling from hunger. As it trudged beneath towering trees, a sweet, tantalizing scent of honey drifted through the air. The bear paused, sniffing the breeze, and soon discovered a large, gleaming beehive perched on a lofty branch. Golden honey dripped like molten jewels in the soft sunlight. Driven by ravenous hunger, the bear reared on its hind legs, wrapped its powerful paws around the branch, and shook the tree vigorously. Instantly, a furious swarm of bees erupted from the hive, their buzzing transforming into an angry roar. The bees attacked in droves, stinging the bear's legs, arms, and face relentlessly. Despite the searing pain of countless stings, the bear refused to yield. Clutching the hive tightly, it began to climb the tree. Each step upward was agonizing as the swarm continued to harass it, their stings burning its thick fur and flesh. The forest echoed with the bear's enraged growls and the persistent hum of the bees. At last, the bear reached the hive. It tore open the waxy comb with its claws and greedily lapped up the honey, momentarily forgetting the torment of the stings. The rich, golden sweetness filled its senses, overshadowing its pain, if only for a fleeting moment. But fate turned grim when the bear opened its mouth too wide to savor the honey. A crafty bee slipped inside and delivered a vicious sting to the roof of its mouth. The bear let out a thunderous roar of agony, staggering as honey and specks of blood dripped from its lips. The bees seized their chance, continuing their assault on every inch of the bear's body. Weak from the venom and pain, the wounded bear began to descend the tree. Its limbs trembled under the weight of the injuries, and gushing swells and welts covered its skin. Finally, the bear tumbled to the forest floor, collapsing and dragging its battered body into the undergrowth. The clearing fell silent except for the bear's pained groans echoing across the trees, an ominous lesson of defeat and regret. As the bear stumbled away, it realized how its reckless greed had cost it dearly. Had it approached the hive with caution or patience, it might have enjoyed the honey without enduring such torment. Instead, its hasty actions led to agony and the loss of the precious honey it had fought so hard to obtain. Morale: when enticed by temptation, do not let greed override reason, for rash actions can lead to suffering far greater than any reward. The Goose and the Swan. Once upon a time, a pair of geese lived in a broad marsh. Their feathers were a dull, brownish color, and they spent their days foraging near the marsh's edge. One day, two graceful white swans flew overhead, casting an immediate spell on the geese. The geese were struck by the swan's beauty, a sight more magnificent than anything they had ever seen. One goose turned to the other and said, "Did you see those swans? How regal and pure their white feathers are. We look so plain compared to them. Why are we so drab and dull?" The other goose answered, "Their wings are broad and their bodies are so elegant. While we have our simple brown feathers, we appear small and inferior in comparison." The two geese tried to stretch their necks and spread their wings wide, but they could not mimic the swan's graceful posture. They felt sorrow and shame for their ordinary appearance. Day after day, they attempted to imitate the swan's soft calls, but their honking remained harsh and boisterous, nowhere near the gentle murmurs of the swans. Yet eventually, the geese realized that they possessed qualities the swans lacked: the ability to swim through muddy waters and thrive in diverse environments. They lived in a different ecosystem from the swans and played a crucial role in maintaining the marsh's ecological balance. Moral: do not compare yourself to others, for each being has its own unique beauty and value. The eagle and the arrow. Once upon a time, an eagle soared high above the earth, surveying vast plains and towering mountains. The majestic bird, proud and confident, ruled the sky with unmatched grace. Below, a farmer stood in a field, bow drawn, aiming his arrow at the eagle. Oblivious to the danger, the eagle continued its flight until suddenly an arrow flew from the farmer's bow. It struck the eagle's wing. Though the wound was not life-threatening, the arrow impeded the eagle's flight. With a pained cry, the eagle descended to the ground. Struggling, the eagle attempted to remove the arrow by twisting and tugging at it. However, as it tried to pull, it discovered a small metal buckle on the arrow's tip, anchoring it firmly within its flesh. The eagle was unable to withdraw the arrow alone. Weak and wounded, the eagle lay still on the ground, unable to soar once more. Soon, its strength waned, and it breathed its last breath with the arrow still lodged in its wing, a testament to the fatal blow delivered by the farmer. Moral: no matter how powerful you are, a single wound can prove fatal. Be mindful of hidden dangers. The farmer and the fox. Once upon a time, there lived a diligent farmer who cultivated rice in his lush green fields. He tended to his crops throughout the day. One night, after twilight, the farmer was awakened by a faint rustling sound inside his barn. When he investigated, he discovered a fox stealthily stealing one of his chickens. Rather than confronting the fox immediately, the farmer quietly observed from the shadows. Startled by the farmer's hushed presence, the fox fled but managed to drag a single chicken away. The farmer hurriedly gave chase, but the narrow barn entrance prevented him from catching the fox. The next morning, the farmer found that one chicken had gone missing from the coop overnight. He devised a new plan. That evening, he placed a fresh chicken outside the barn and scattered rice husks along a trail leading to the barn's entrance to lure the fox. He then concealed himself under a nearby tree, gripping a sturdy stick, and waited in silence. That night, the hungry fox followed the rice husk trail. Spotting the plump chicken on the ground, it cautiously approached, scanning left and right. As the fox crept closer, the farmer leaped from his hiding place and struck the fox on the back with his stick. The fox yelped in pain, dropped the chicken, and fled rapidly into the darkness. Later, the farmer retrieved the chicken and returned it safely to the coop. He realized that by using patience and careful planning each night, he could outwit the cunning fox and protect his flock. Moral: patience and careful planning can overcome cunning tricks every time.